Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about gold and Bitcoin prices, recently what they've been doing, and also where silver should be following suit in this appreciating or very fluctuating market between not only precious metals but also cryptocurrency. We also have some other news about Merrill Lynch. Got caught manipulating the silver markets, and I'm going to be sharing my input on that as well. So make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you already haven't. I make daily videos every single day. I do giveaways, unboxings, everything. So if you enjoy learning about precious metals or just like watching silver stacking videos, then make sure you support channels like this. So let's get into it. So we saw gold break past that $1,400 range finally. Gold has been at this 1350 to 1370 dollar range for a while now, and actually all of 2019, and we finally saw it break past 1400. So I was curious what it was going to do, similar to like when Bitcoin finally broke past 10,000, when it finally bursted out of that bubble, what the markets do, because usually there's a lot more hype around it then. The media, it's in the media's eyes, people have more faith in it, and they usually start to invest more. It's kind of ironic that people usually put more money into something when it's more expensive, when it's rising, instead of when it's cheaper, but that's usually when they have more faith, thinking it's going to continue to rise. Now, I thought this case would happen with gold. It actually pulled back a little bit, but precious metals are a much slower market, especially incorporating what's been going on with Merrill Lynch and in these things coming out about them manipulating the silver markets for trillions of dollars with these silver certificates or silver ETFs. Not even real silver. It's not even physical bullion. They're just basically a piece of paper saying you own a certain amount, and they've been manipulating markets for a while now. So that since this news has got out, a lot of people have covered it. I'm curious what silver is going to do, whether this is bad info or good info for silver prices. Who knows? It's really interesting. This kind of reminded me back when JP Morgan admitted that Bitcoin was a scam, shot the price down, and they bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin while it was cheaper. This is a much different instance, but usually when there's speculation and FUD thrown into the community or the markets of any type of investment, people can panic and fear, get that fear mentality very easy, especially when money's involved, because it is people's livelihoods at stake to some extent. So looking at it realistically, I don't think the markets will be hurt that much. I'm more interested in seeing where gold and silver is going to go partnered together, the correlating precious metals together, because if gold keeps rising, is silver going to rise as well, or will we see silver be stagnant as gold appreciates, widening the range of this gold to silver ratio even higher, which wouldn't make sense to me, because the gold to silver ratio is already above 90 to 1, and these are all-time highs. Gold already broke past its 2019 all-time high at like 1,300 and something dollars. I think it might even touched 1,400. And silver still, is slowly climbing around that 15, $16 range. I obviously know that the gold to silver ratio historically is around 40 to 1. So for it to actually have a correct correction, or a correct type of fluctuation coming back to its normal or historical charts or historical ratios, it would have to be either mean that gold depreciates in value or silver appreciates in value, and I definitely think that silver would appreciate. It's also interesting to take this Merrill Lynch instance into consideration when looking at silver prices, because they were keeping silver in a very low bubble, in a low value bubble. So who knows what this could do to silver. I don't think that one factor or one instance could inflict prices too much, just because there's so many factors, whether it's the miners, whether it's the supply versus demand, whether it's the value, whether it's how much surplus is getting into the market, whether it's the circulation, how strong the dollar is. All of these things do have impact on the price of silver. and gold, but I'm just curious to see what it does. I hope that people do stay strong and stay true to why they stack and don't let the fear and stuff that goes on in the media, really damper or take, blindfold them or take that lens off of the reality of the situation, because people hopefully still do understand that silver has much more potential than people even deem it valued to be. I made a video talking about the truth about silver yesterday. I hope you guys had a chance to watch that. And I was just talking about how the media doesn't want you to understand the value of it. How it's almost like anytime they talk about silver, they just talk about how stagnant it is or how cheap it is. They don't talk about when it was $50, in 2011. They don't talk about the many values it has and the beneficial uses it has in the industrial and technological and medical world. They don't talk about that stuff. They only talk about it almost as like an overpowering just bear market that has no money into it. But when it was $50 in 2011, what were you guys doing? It's only going to take until it starts doubling, tripling in price when people will finally start talking about it as this big underdog come up, when it's been obvious for years that silver's actual value is this price. But anyways, I do want to kind of get into some Bitcoin stuff. I know a lot of you guys are here for precious metals, but it is really important to stay in tune with all of the investments, what's happening in our financial system, on different levels of different assets, because they are all intertwined, in my opinion, to some degree. But we also do see Bitcoin rising exponentially lately. It's around $1,350 right now. It's been stuck between recently it was around that $10,000 range for a while, but actually broke past 10,000, broke past 11,000. Now we're up to 13.5, and it's looking like it's going strong for that $20,000 range before what we saw a couple of years ago. And that was incredible to see. I made a lot of money that way, but it was also exciting to see that people that weren't everyday investors were actually getting into investing and were interested in it and interested in learning about it. People that never invested a dollar in their life were buying Bitcoin and starting to save money. So if that could have been the seed to plant, if that could have been what planted people or planted that seed for people to realize the benefits of investing or financing your future, then so be it. It is a dangerous market though, especially with Bitcoin, because it's so fast paced that you can lose a lot of money, especially if you don't understand what you're doing. I've made several cryptocurrency tutorial videos. I try to stick more towards silver stacking, precious metals world, because silver is a much safer, much more potential investment. But cryptocurrency does have a very fast market, and if you know what you're doing, you can make a lot of money that way. But looking at these prices though, it's interesting because there's not as much hype in the media about Bitcoin right now. When it was rallying, a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, everyone was talking about it. Coinbase was the number one downloaded social media app on iTunes, or the App Store. Everyone was talking about it. It was everywhere, all the advertisements on CNN, everyone. But right now, no one's really talking about it. Nowhere near to the degree that it was when it was rallying before, but it's still rising just as fast. Bitcoin is rising thousands of dollars in each day. Like if you look at the charts within the last 3 days, it's literally jumped $3,000, which no investment in the world has ever performed like that ever. Especially compared to precious metals. Precious metals moves a couple dollars in a week or two. Bitcoin jumps thousands of dollars in a couple days. So it can be a very beneficial or a very profitable market, but it also can be a very risky and dangerous market. So please, if you don't understand what you're doing, then don't invest as much as you're willing to lose. That's all I can tell you on that. With silver prices, I think that silver is definitely the underdog, but also with the most potential, especially since things are actually coming to light now that makes sense of why silver's only $15, $16. So if you are trying to invest in your future, to look at the bigger picture, you can see that there is potential in it. I don't think it's too late to invest in Bitcoin. I also don't think it's too late to invest in gold or silver. Do I think you should be selling your gold right now? More likely than silver, yes. I would be exchanging my gold for silver right now. You can use the gold to silver ratio to your advantage to either make more gold or more silver. In this case, you can make more silver. So, for instance, if the ratio is 90 to 1 and you sell 1 ounce of gold for 90 ounces of silver, then the ratio goes back to 40 to 1. Then you can sell that ounce of gold for 40 ounces of silver, then or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But you can use the ratios to your advantage to get free gold or silver in that instance. And right now, you could sell, an ounce of gold, get 90 ounces of silver, wait a couple weeks or a couple months. If the ratio goes back down to 80 to 1, then you can sell that ounce of gold and get the 10 free ounces of silver. That's something that people have done. I've done that before. It usually only works with bullion. You don't want to be selling your pandas and stuff like that because they're higher premium. You want to get stuff as low to spot price as possible for it to really be in your favor and to really take the full advantage of it, or you'll be paying premiums and you'll have to, raise your profit margin or lower your profit margin. But yeah, I'm just curious what you guys think about this. What do you guys think about this Merrill Lynch situation? I might make a full video on it if you want me, guys. If you guys want me to, let me know. It's kind of just mundane, it's just a typical thing. They got caught, manipulating the markets. I don't think it's worthy of an entire video. I try to make my videos 10 to 15 minutes long because I really like diving deep and looking at different aspects and different angles of all these subjects and all these topics because there's so much, especially like I try to really look at things and look at different angles and really, try to bring it to earth in a unbiased opinion. And that's really hard to do with 5 minutes time. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. I make daily videos. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.